Bonjour mes amis. Today I'm here with Comté cheese and we will be making a firm favorite of mine using Comté's 4 to 8 month old cheese. And guess what? It's going to be Croque Monsieur served with delicious spicy kimchi. This beautiful cheese is produced from raw milk from unbelied cows who each have 1 hectare of land to roam in. They are pretty spoiled, you know, and this cheese is the best. I am today going to start off with the kimchi because the process is a little bit longer, so let's crack on. First of all, we've got our Chinese white leaf cabbage here, which is already washed, and we're going to quarter these. And we're just going to dice that, pop that in a nice big bowl, and we are going to be adding lots of salt. Again, using your hands and your fingers, just gently rub the cabbage, and in goes 400 grams of water. And then what we need to do at this point, just gently rub the cabbage, and we are now going to leave this for 1.5 hours or longer, just to wilt the leaves, to soften the leaves for later on. At this point, we are going to move on to making our rice paste, which is very essential when making kimchi. So in here we've got 110 grams of water, and we are going to add about 20 grams of rice flour. This is about 1.5 tablespoons. And we are going to do some whisking. This shouldn't take too long. We are just going to get it to a nice, consistent, smooth paste. We don't want to have any lumps in it. Otherwise, you just end up having an unpleasant taste in your mouth as you eat. So what we are after is a nice paste, just like that. Okay, so I've decided to pair my Croque Monsieur with kimchi. One reason being I love spicy food, and kimchi being what it is quite spicy, is quite sweet, and pairing it with a 4 to 8 month old cheese, which is sweet and nutty, makes it a perfect ingredient to pair with my Croque Monsieur. We have here our washed cabbage, which has been washed 2 to 3 times just to get rid of any salt. It's still a little bit salty, but that's okay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to make the other mixtures that makes a kimchi what it is. So I'm going to start off by chopping our washed spring onion. I'll do about 3 at a time. Okay, so that's nicely chopped. We are going to peel our ginger. You can use a spoon. And we are going to grate that just to get that really fine. Now make sure you keep all the juices on the chopping board because that is really good for our kimchi. And we've got our garlic cloves here. And we are just going to grate our garlic as well. Next stage, we have our rice paste here. What we are going to do next is add the red pepper paste that goes in, with some sugar. So that's about 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. And we've got some fish sauce. And stop. And that goes in. And we just give it a nice mix. We can at this stage add our grated garlic and ginger, making sure to collect the excess juice from the ginger and garlic from the board. Mix that in. Nice. Okay, so we are going to add our spring onion in here with our wilted cabbage. Just add that into it. Just gently massage the leaves, just making sure that you've covered every part of it. No stone goes unturned, as they say. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Fresh kimchi that is now going to go inside a jar, which we're going to leave at room temperature for 24 hours, and we'll come back to that ready for our Croque Monsieur. The next stage is to make our fake confit, which is pretty unusual for Croque Monsieur, but I love fakes, and it's the perfect season for fakes. It pairs well with the cheese because of its not so sweet taste with the sweetness and nuttiness of the cheese. So all you need to do with these is to just chop off the ends. We are going to be adding 2 tablespoons of runny honey. and some sea salt. Then just gently rub that in. And we are going to roast this for 15 to 20 minutes or longer, depending on how caramelized you want it, at 180 fan. We will come back to that in about 15 minutes, so see you shortly. Okay, so our 15 minutes is up. We are now going to take our figs out of the oven. And that smells amazing. Now what we're going to do is spoon the mixture into a blender. Make sure to include the juices. If you can just see the texture there, and that goes into a bowl. If you just leave that to cool. Okay, so now we're going to be making our bechamel sauce, which is very important for our croque monsieur. We're going to start off by adding some butter, unsalted butter. Okay, now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of plain flour. And then we can start whisking straight away. You now have a nice brown color from that. That is basically from us browning the butter, and that makes it quite nutty, which is again very ideal for our cheese. We are going to then grate some garlic and some fresh nutmeg and just give it a nice whisk. We have some full fat milk here which goes into the mixture, and just gently pour that into your butter and flour mixture. At this point you just turn up the heat and we're just going to let it bubble and thicken. We've got a 4 to 8 month old cheese here, which is perfect for our croque monsieur, and this is why I picked it, because of its age. But also some fun facts for you: it cannot be called Comté if it's not from the Jura region, and guess what, it has over 80 flavors. So you've got lactic, you've got roasted, you've got vegetal, you've got spicy, which could have worked well with, of course, our kimchi for later. So you are in for a treat later today. And we are going to grate about 85 grams of the cheese, which is going to go into our milk mixture. And we can add some herbe de Provence in there. And just leave that to bubble away for a minute or two, and then we can take that off the heat, ready for the good stuff. And now we are going to assemble our croque monsieur. So we've got sourdough bread here, but we need nice thin slices, not too thick. Once you have your slices, we've got melted butter here. We are going to brush our baking tray, and then we've got one slice, and a third slice. We are going to apply our fake confit from earlier. Just brush that all over. We've got our bechamel sauce here. Spread that gently, and we are now going to grate some nutmeg over the sauce, followed by some good ham, more cheese that goes on top. We're going to put the bread on top of each, just cover it, and we're going to finish it off with some more fake confit. Never have enough of cheesy bechamel, and that also goes on top. And one last go. So we're grating the cheese. You can of course have this cheese on its own, grate it onto croque monsieurs, or of course you can roast them as well. Just have them melted, a nice generous amount of cheese. We are now going to bake this for 12 minutes at 200 degrees fan. Then we should be ready to eat shortly. See you in 12. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Selasi's Comté cheese, Croque Monsieur. You've got a 4 to 8 month old Comté cheese. You've got confit fig, we've got garlic, we've got bechamel sauce, we've got spicy, crunchy, sour, slightly sweet kimchi, and you can just imagine all the flavors. I can't wait for you to try this. The recipe is available online at comtecheese.co.uk. Make sure you try it. Now, if you'd excuse me, I think it's dinner time.